We left Cabo San Lucas as the sun was just rising. At the most southern point of the Baja Peninsula, the winds tend to be variable and mild. But as you make that long, sweeping arc to the north, the winds work their way from your beam to your bow, building the entire way. And today was textbook. The 45 nautical miles started light, and by noon, we were enjoying that spirited north winds, just as forecast. The crew tightened up the sail plan on Basik and tacked the last 15 nautical miles up the coast towards the anchorage. Basik could sail into the wind with the added mileage of the multiple tacks much faster than powering into it. This added nearly 8 nautical miles to the day, but we still had plenty of time to set the hook before losing daylight. The approach to Los Frailes is interesting. The depth is over 100 fathoms, a half a mile from the beach. You may doubt the accuracy of your depth sounder as it flashes solid bars because it's simply just too deep to register. You must drop your anchor tight to the shoreline in 4 to 6 fathoms. As you bear down on your anchor to set it firmly, the depth drops off significantly. This is more prominent on the western side of the anchorage, where the underwater canyon extends. We arrived late in the day, so to keep a respectful distance from the other vessels, we secured our spot in this less desirable location. Well, here we are. Los Frailes. Little fishing village over here. And a dozen cruisers and more coming in. Looks like we have 2 trimarans. We've got 2 catamarans and 4 monohulls so far. I see another monohull coming in off in the distance. So the anchorage is filling up pretty nice. Everybody uses this place to either jump to Muertos, the next spot north, and around to La Paz, or this is a great location to jump over to Mazatlan. It's a nice angle to get to Mazatlan. Our original plan was to go to La Paz, but the weather's changing. This time of year, you get these northern winds. And we got a little taste of it today. Wasn't bad, but they're going to be building over the next 4 days. And the sea state now out there is flat, or relatively flat, but it's going to build and peak on Friday. That means that our window to get to La Paz has closed. Well, we could probably make it, but it's going to be bumpy. So we decided to head over to Mazatlan. It's 165 miles that way. Right?
Right.
So we're gonna. We would have loved to stay here a day or two, but we have just a short little window to get over before the wind picks up on Friday. So we will should have decent winds, 10 to 20s, all the way across on our beam.
Weather dictates everything.
Everything.
So.
God, look at this. This is beautiful here.
It is.
And we're gonna just get up in the morning.
Yeah, I wish we could stay longer.
But yeah, it just makes sense for us to make the run.
We'll be back.
Exactly. So our plan now is to go to Mazatlan and start work. Is this mine?
Yep.
Thank you. And work our way south from Mazatlan all winter long, and come back into the sea and spend all next summer up in the sea. And we're excited for that. It was a nice little run. Wasn't a big day. It was probably coming up wind. We added some mileage. We
weren't expecting to sail as much as we did, just because it's typical in this time of year to get the northers. But man, we got to sail. It was fun.
Yeah, and we tacked all the way the last 15-20 miles. So we added
and caught a
it's normally it's normally 45-mile trip from Cabo to here, but we probably ended up traveling 55 miles with all our tacks. But here we are, gonna wind down to a beautiful dinner. I can smell it already.
Yeah, we're gonna have an all-American meal. We're having barbecue ribs and roasted vegetables.
Oh man, I bet you we're having the best meal in this anchorage by far. Okay, here's a toast, family, to a great passage and an even better meal. Look at this.
I'm thinking a better passage tomorrow.
Well, that's a given, but what are we having for dinner tomorrow?
Well, I got it all planned.
Of course you do. Dig in, family.
Where to start? Meat for you. Yeah.
Potatoes?
Ah!
Oh, sorry. Is there room on your plate?
She'll make room. You know what happens when we make plans, and that is it changes. So tonight we actually sailed in earlier with a couple of sailboats. One of it happens to be a family with some girls that are about Emma's age, and they just hit it off.
So I've been trying to like break that lately.
So we were gonna probably get together today or tonight and kind of see each other off because we're going in opposite directions for a few months. But turns out they had some overheating issues. I don't know if you guys remember back when we had our overheating issues and Teal busted out the barnacle buster.
Got my bucket. Look down inside here. I've wired in a bilge pump. The idea is to put the barnacle buster solution in here. It pumps it up, and it's going to run reverse through the engine. It's going to go into the heat exchanger on the top and then come back out the bottom. And we recirculate this for about 4 hours. And I'm hopeful this will work.
And it worked like a charm. So obviously he never wants to have that happen again. And he comprised of a little kit with a bucket and pump and was able to just have it on standby. So he brought it over, or he's bringing it over right now to the neighboring boat, and hopefully that can resolve their issues, because there's nothing worse than having your engine not working properly. I'm hopeful that that will fix it. If not, I'm sure that between the two guys that they can pinpoint what the issue is.
Okay, off into the darkness of night.
Do you think it's fixable?
Anything's fixable.
Well, I know that.
But it's just coming up with the right parts at anchor. You know, that's the tricky part. We're gonna MacGyver this one, I think. I think we'll get it.
Compass is so worried about you.
Don't be worried about me.
You should see him. I mean, he's like watching you.
Hey, Compass. Hey, buddy. Good boy.
Okay, let me know if you need anything.
Okay, I will. Just stay on VHF 22.
Okay. Compass should be used to this. Teal is always ready to help. This is so awesome because we are crossing the sea heading towards Mazatlan. It's gonna be a almost a beam reach, I think, the entire time, so that's gonna be great for a change instead of having the wind not quite in our favor. It's gonna be 165 miles to
165. So we'll get there tomorrow night.
yes, to the
Or,
no, not tomorrow night, is
well,
it?
it depends how stiff these winds are.
I hope they're stiff.
Regardless, it'll be fun. There you go again.
It'll be fun. You guys, it is such a pretty morning. I think that we're all ready. Pulling up the anchor in, I don't know, about 2 minutes. And heading straight out towards the sun.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep in the liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up.
a pretty good day. Got about 60 miles in to our trip across the Sea of Cortez. Winds are starting to lighten up. Sails are starting to flop. Oh well. Sea state's real calm though. Not much of a moon tonight, so it's gonna be pitch black. But the temperatures aren't bad. Nice and warm. You can barely make out the peaks of the mountaintops over on the peninsula. That's 60 miles away. Clarity is just amazing today. Got about another 105 miles to go. Can't see it yet. I'm sure we'll wake up to views of the mainland. Okay. Just kind of settle in to a night passage. Okay. We enjoyed nice wind all night. 15 to 25 knots out of the north, and it just pushed us nicely. Unfortunately, right before the sun comes up, like it does most of the time in the sea, it dies off. We died off to 0. So we doused the sails. We're gonna power for a little bit. So we're getting so close. Look at this. What is it? 33 miles away. I'm walking up on the deck to get rid of all the squid. It's really weird. In the middle of the night, pitch black as you're cruising along. You startle the squid, they jump straight up and blop all over the decks. Check out these. They're all over. Look at this poor guy. He made it way up here. I'd use them for bait, but I already have our poles in. Maybe I will keep them for bait. God, they're everywhere. There's got to be a dozen of them here. Okay, I'll go get something to put them in. I don't want to leave them on the deck. That little bit of ink just stains the deck right up. You can see where the poor guy landed up there and tried to crawl off. Okay, just a few more hours. We should be there.
I don't know what it means, but there's a smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space.
So we are less than an hour from entering the old harbor in Mazatlan. The weather is nice, warm, little muggy.
Yeah, it's different over here, isn't it?
Different. It's a lot more greenery, so it's more jungle-like. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, look at this. Instead of desert, I'm looking at a sea of, what is that? Palm trees over there.
Palm trees, is it? Oh,
yeah, look at all those.
But the only downside to this one trip was Teal did not land a fish. He caught 2.
Not yet. Look at this. I have 3 poles in. We're on our final approach. I'm determined.
Man, I was really hoping for some fish tonight.
Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in.
Well, it's another change of plans. We were planning on staying here at the old harbor in the anchorage for the next week, but we decided to splurge and go into the marina instead. I'm so excited to wash the boat.
Well, you gotta think about this. It's been 1,000 nautical miles and over a month since you've been in a marina.
I don't mind that, but
I know.
it'll be a nice change.
Well, it's nice to be able to wash the boat, get the salt
Yes,
off, get
yes.
cleaned up, and kind of just have some fun because it's somebody's birthday next week.
It is, but it's not only that. The holding here isn't that great. It's a muddy bottom, so it would not make me feel good about going into town and exploring or spending all day away from Basik. But it'll be fun for Emma. We have some friends that are in there as well, so that'll be nice to catch up with them.
We're all smiles.
Yeah.
It must be
Well,
a good
we're
thing.
smiles because we're in Mazatlan. That has nothing to do with us going into the marina. It'll just be fun.
It'll be a fun area.
I'm excited.
I'm kind of bummed though because I was looking forward to hiking up that every morning.
Well,
We
can
still will.
We still will.
In the
Not
morning.
every morning.
It's
but-
hot, so we like to go in the morning.
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
Anyways, this will be a fun change. And yeah, that's it.
That's it. So let's get going.
Let's do this. Big day today. Yeah. 8 whole miles.
I know. I don't know how I'm going to be able to take it. I'm exhausted.
I'm fishing, that's for sure.
I'm tired already.
Typical.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors, lost within a haze. Don't rely on others to get you through the maze. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Onboard Lifestyle. If you liked our video, please remember to give us a like and help us grow our channel by subscribing. These videos are made possible by the support of our amazing patrons. Join our crew if you can. Now that we have crossed the Sea of Cortez to Mazatlan, we feel so lucky to be where we are, especially because of what we just discovered. Come back next week to see what it was. See you then!